It's only natural to want the best for your garden. A beautiful lawn that makes your neighbours green with envy and gives you years of pleasure. But how do you do that? Well, over the next few minutes we're going to show you. The quickest, easiest and simplest way of creating the perfect lawn is to lay top quality turf. It's neat, easy to handle and ready to use almost as soon as it's down, providing you're not too athletic, that is. These days, all turf is sold by the square metre, but for those of you who still think in square yards, there is 0.8361 of a square metre to the square yard. To achieve the total square metres required, simply multiply the length of your plot by the width. So a lawn 10 metres by 4 metres requires 40 square metres and so on. That's fine for a nice even-shaped garden, but what if your garden is an odd shape or you want to turf more than one area? Well, what you need to do is draw a sketch of the area that you want to cover. You then draw rectangles over your sketch. Measure and record on your sketch the lengths and widths of your rectangles. Work out the area of each rectangle by multiplying the length by the width. Now, you add up the areas of each rectangle. This will give you the total number of square metres of turf needed. Then add about 5% for patching and shaping, etc. If you're unsure, don't worry. Roll-On has a handy conversion chart and your local depot manager will be happy to help you with planning your new lawn. Of course, it's well worth giving some time and thought to the design and shape of your lawn. If you're planning a lawn for a small to medium-sized garden, my advice is to keep it simple. That doesn't mean uninteresting. A bold shape with a mowing strip to edge the lawn helps to keep maintenance to a minimum, which means that regular mowing need only take a short time each week. It's important to achieve a balance between planting areas, the lawn, the paths and patios. Remember, you can adapt the ideas for lawns from larger gardens, whatever the size of your plot. Why not let the shape of your lawn create the interest with curves or straight lines that lead the eye to another feature? Octagon-shaped lawns and circular lawns frequently make an attractive surround for a pond or become interesting in their own right. Do bear in mind that no lawn can be really successful in areas of heavy shade. I'm here at one of Roll-On Turf Company's own turf depots to find out more about turf quality, and the man who can tell us best is Terry Ryan. Terry, what should I be looking for when I'm trying to choose turf?
Well, Susan, the first thing is to check that you've got a good, dense, green sward, well-coloured grass with absolutely no broadleaf weeds in it whatsoever. You're looking to make sure that there are no holes, no ragged edges. You want a nice sharp cut, a nice even edge to ensure that it'll be handled well and you'll get consistent laying. And finally, your new lawn needs roots, so you're looking for a nice root mat which will ensure it gets away and gets well established early on your new lawn.
How old should the turf be?
At Roll-On, over the past 20 years, we've found, Susan, that if we harvest at an average age of just 12 months, the grass plants are at a vigorous stage in their development and the soil handling characteristics of the roll itself are at their optimum level.
And can it be too old?
Definitely. In general, the younger the turf, the better it will perform for you. Young turf roots faster and deeper and generally requires less care to establish.
You're rightfully proud of your turf, but what makes its quality so special?
All Roll-On turf is grown from seed blends that have been specially selected after many years of research, taking into account matters such as resistance to disease, wear tolerance, colour and leaf shape.
Is there a minimum amount I have to order?
That's one thing we're glad to have the opportunity to emphasise. You can order as much or as little, down to 1 square metre from your local Roll-On turf depot.
Okay, so let's recap on how to select top quality turf. Check whether exceptional seed was used. Is the turf neatly stacked? Are the edges sharp? Are there holes in the turf? Is there more than 12 mil of thatch? Is it neatly mowed, dense, and a rich green colour? Is it weed-free? And as you can see here, the answer is a resounding yes. So you've done your sums, you've ordered the turf, all you've got to do now is prepare the surface. Now Max has just been to Rollon's headquarters in York, and he's going to tell us the recommended techniques for laying the perfect lawn.
You need to prepare the soil a couple of days before you expect delivery of the turf. Now you need a few tools for this, and for the turf laying itself, a wheelbarrow to carry the turf, a rake, a spade and a garden fork. You'll also need a garden hose and plenty of water.
The soil should be turned over or cultivated at 4 to 6 inches deep. That's 100 to 150 millimeters deep. And it is best to do this when it is fairly dry. It's a good idea to remove all vegetation.
Right, we're about to remove all stones larger than about golf ball size from the plot. Take all of these away, throw them out of there. The rest of the smaller stones can actually stay on the ground because they help the drainage. It may seem strange, having forked over the soil, to have to actually compact it again, but what we're trying to do is to remove any sort of air pockets so that the soil will not form hollows once you've actually started laying the turf. This is the sort of job you can get the whole family to join in. They can all come out and join you and shuffle around on the ground. I'm now going to apply a pre-turfing fertiliser over the actual area that I have prepared. The next task is to rake the soil and make the final preparations, breaking it down. What we're trying to do here is to get a fine tilt in the soil so that when we lay the turf, it will settle down nicely. Continue to remove any large stones you might find, but of course leave the smaller stones, which are vital for drainage.
And 2 days before the turf is due to arrive, water the soil until it is wet to at least 3 inches deep. Let it form a semi-dry surface cake. Then your soil is ready to start laying. There are 2 roll sizes to choose from. Roll-on has a standard 1 square metre roll and a 13 square metre budget roll. We'll show you the larger roll in action first, and then our technique for laying the standard roll.
That's fine, you keep going first.
Start by carrying the turf to the furthest away point. That way you'll be travelling the shortest distance as you get tired.
This time we're using one of the smaller rolls. We lay it along the edge of the longest border. Always lay the rolls of turf brickwork style and leave about a foot gap at the end of each roll. When you're working from the soil, use a plank, although you can stand on the new lawn without doing any harm to it.
Now this is how to make sure the turf all fits together. Don't stretch it. Push together. Don't pull, because it could shrink later, leaving you with some unsightly gaps.
Butt the sides and edges tightly together, and then you use a spade to trim the edges right hard up like that bit. To prevent the outer edges of the turf drying in the sun, you can pile some loose soil against it. It doesn't have to be very neat, as long as you actually get the soil hard in against the edge, just to keep it from drying out.
So there it is, your perfect lawn. But you mustn't stop there. The most important thing is to start caring for it straight away. The most important time for establishing a new turf lawn is 3 to 4 weeks after laying. There are two simple but important rules to help the new lawn get started. The first thing is to water your turf immediately after unrolling. Really soak it to a depth of ½ inch, that's 12.5 millimeters, and keep on watering regularly. Incidentally, you will use a lot less water with turf than seed. Check under the edge of the turf to see it's soaked right through.
The single most important part of lawn maintenance is grass cutting, but you'd be surprised at the number of people who don't know how to cut their grass correctly. Terry, does it matter what kind of mower you use to cut the lawn?
Not especially, Max.
Yeah.
What is crucial is that the mower is kept in first-class condition,
Yes.
with a very sharp blade,
Yes.
and is kept generally serviceable at all times. The exact type that you will need can vary depending on the size and shape of your lawn, and whether it's on the flat or whether it's on the slope.
Yes. How soon after laying the turf should you start mowing?
Well, Max, most people wait far too long before they start mowing after laying. Roll lawn's turf is conditioned to being mown to around 25 millimetre, that's about an inch, height of cut. So in general terms, when the grass reaches 40 to 50 millimetres, 1.5 to 2 inches, it is ready for its first cut. Remember, don't leave it too long in length or in time, and you should never reduce the grass height by more than 1/3 at a time in any single mowing.
At what height should lawns be maintained?
Well, the actual height of the grass is important, and I know that mowing the grass is a chore, but with specially cultivated grass species, the grass does grow more slowly. If you mow too short, you could weaken the turf, and that'll allow weeds to encroach, and consequently your lawn's going to need more care and maintenance, and that means more expense. Mowing too short, as I've said, is the single biggest mowing fault to be on your guard against. Now, as to how often to mow, well, we always say as often as it needs it, and that means even in the winter time. Your lawn is going to grow at different rates as the temperature changes, after you've fertilised it or watered it and so on. By the way, you don't always have to collect the clippings, unless there's so many of them that they're stopping the sunlight actually reaching the grass.
Before you reach for chemicals, build up a useful lawn maintenance kit consisting of those everyday garden tools we all take for granted. I'm talking about the humble garden fork, ideally with hollow tines, and the lawn rake. Good proprietary lawn fertilisers, such as Scott's Lawn Builder, can be used in spring and summer, and Scott's Winteriser in autumn. However, there is no need to fertilise after laying. Remember the pre-turfing fertiliser? Well, that's all you'll need for the first 6 months. What we're doing here is making holes in the lawn about 6 inches apart to allow air into the ground. You wiggle the fork back and forth to make the holes like that. This is to improve the drainage and also to enable the turf to make deeper roots and help it to resist drought. Scarifying is a technique where we lightly rake the surface of the lawn to break down thatch, which is a layer of dead grass matter which prevents moisture reaching the surface of the roots. It also prevents the grass plants from growing strongly. Now let me introduce you to a couple of little friends who can do as much for your lawn as any garden chemicals. They burrow deep into the ground, come up to the surface, eat the thatch, and then pull it back into the soil to nourish your lawn. Some people, of course, don't like them because when they do come up to the surface, they bring up soil in the form of a cast. This cast, by the way, is quite rich in nutrients, but if you don't like the look of these casts, you can get rid of them by brushing them away with a special lawn broom called a besom. You just simply brush them briskly, and without any problem at all, they've gone.
So there you have it, a splendid first-class lawn, guaranteed to give years and years of pleasure. Well worth investing a little time and money in. After all, you may be living with your lawn longer than you're living with your sitting room carpet. Now there's a thought.